Affairs Minister Tony Burke is moving to ban the Chinese AI app DeepSeek on government devices on national security grounds. Australia, therefore, becoming the first nation in the world to do so. Joining us live, the Deputy Opposition Leader Sussan Ley. Sussan, thanks for your time. Do you support the government ban on DeepSeek?
Yes, we do, and we note the advice that DeepSeek is going to be banned from government devices, and that's sound and follows national security advice clearly. Now, if you're not going to have it on government devices, individuals should think carefully about whether they should also remove it from their devices.
Given that you suffered such a huge swing against you from the Chinese diaspora last time around at the last election, how much do you feel like you need to watch your step this time when you're, critical of Chinese companies, the Chinese government, etc.?
Well, Pete, this is about information, sensitive information that belongs in our Australian government with our officials finding its way, if we are not careful, into the hands of foreign governments. It's as simple as that. It is not about our wonderful Chinese diaspora, what they have contributed to this country, what they continue to contribute in building small businesses, my favourite topic of conversation today, and families and a future here in Australia. So we need to be clear that this is not about that.
When you've got other members of the Liberal Party who are on, sites such as Red Note, do you have any concerns about that?
Well, I would just simply say, follow the advice of the day, follow the national security advice. And with respect to DeepSeek, we agree with the government. We know that they have access to this detailed, technical national security advice.
OK, moving on. The Treasurer, he took you to task yesterday, Sussan, your team, over your free lunch policy. Now, there is this Grand Canyon-sized difference between yours and Jim Chalmers' costings of it. One, hundreds of millions, the other, billions. When are you going to release your numbers?
Our numbers were costed by the Parliamentary Budget Office, and that's the protocol, and that's what always happens. And all costings are released in the lead up to an election, which the Prime Minister tells us is quite some distance away. So we are in line with the way we have costed this policy. What the government has done is throw fake costings at us, and in a time of crisis for our small businesses, they have thrown fake costings instead of actually releasing a strategy, Pete, that helps small businesses. They have released a strategy. I'm holding it up here. It's, I think, quite a lot of pages of nothing at all. You call it a strategy, but that doesn't make it so. It is full of pictures of American businesses. Here's a lovely bakery from New Jersey. In fact, there's more pictures of American businesses in this strategy than there are interventions and measures to actually help our small businesses. Meanwhile, the Treasurer throws mud in the Parliament yesterday about a sensible policy that's been called for, I'm sure, by the small businesses in his electorate, just as it is in mine, where they desperately need a shot in the arm because they are struggling in hospital, in hospitality, in restaurants, in cafes, and a $20,000 deduction for somebody to take employees, clients, workers into those businesses is just something that is desperately needed for the businesses and very good for those who are undertaking.
Sure, I get that, but it can't be fake costings if it comes from Treasury, though, can it?
Well, I back in the Parliamentary Budget Office every day of the week, and we will see the full costings for every single election policy before the election. That always happens.
But the politics of this is,
I'm sorry, Pete. These are clearly fake costings, and you know why? I think they're throwing them at us because they have nothing else for small businesses, nothing at all. And to laugh at something like this that helps those businesses who, as I said, are really struggling. You would go into those businesses to get your morning coffee. Australians love them. They're in the high street. They're working incredibly hard. They always have a smile on their face. I'm talking about this on your program every week because I'm passionate about this.
No, I get that.
But you know what? These owners, these owners are not paying themselves. But they're standing in their businesses for 15 hours a day. They're 27,000 of small businesses have gone to the wall since Labor came into government. Meanwhile, you get this rubbish strategy, these pictures of American businesses, this nothing at all to help them, this not a single intervention, and throwing mud at something that we have put forward as a real shot in the arm.
Yeah, I mean, look, I understand your argument there, but just on the costings argument, I mean, until you do, the politics of it is the Treasurer can take free swings, can he not? Because he's got numbers from Treasury and you're still kicking the can down the road.
Well, I think the politics of this are we have one side of the parliament that has walked a mile in the shoes of small businesses and another
But
side
if it's not
of the
much, can I just ask, if it's not much, why not just release it?
Well, we have released the Parliamentary Budget Office costings of less than $250 million. So that's out there, that's on the table. We've done everything that we would normally do when it comes to costing a policy. And the full details, all costings, all policies, comes out before an election.
We will leave it there. Sussan, thanks as always. We'll chat again soon.